Johan and Alexis, can you all come here and help me right quick? Because I want to show you something that I learned in geometry. I hated geometry. I loved math, but I hated geometry. I just hated geometry because I felt that it was impractical. And I'm such a practical person. I'm like, if I can't use it in the real world. So I asked the teacher, I loved algebra and trigonometry and all of that, but I just didn't like geometry because I said, I'll never use this again. And the teacher said to me, I want you to write a report on the uses of geometry in industry. I found a few, like an architect and stuff, but I still had no plans on being an architect. But that was something, because I had a positive spirit, that I learned something that I apply to my own life. And this is a revelation that came out of me from my own ability in terms of, come step right here. And here, this is husband and wife here. So, newlyweds. There are angles that are talked about in geometry, and one of them is called complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles that form a 90-degree position. Two angles that form a 90-degree position. Okay, so this way, but both of you all facing the congregation here. Now, I want you to put one arm just straight out like that, and then another one that would be maybe not, probably about like that. Yeah. And now, you put an arm around her like that because you support her in this, and then you put the other arm straight up, because then that creates, see, this is that degree, and then this now, see the two of them working together? These are two angles that are complementing each other. See, this one might be 45 degrees, but now he's complementing her and making it 90 degree. To say that the two of these working together, it empowers them now to be upright. A 90 degree is an upright angle. You have trouble sometimes walking and staying straight by yourself, so God yokes you with somebody that helps you to be able to walk upright. This is called a complementary angle. Two angles where the sum of their degrees becomes 90 degrees. 90 degrees, that's upright. That gives us a vertical reach up to God, so that God now empowers the couple to be more. That's why you have to find your tribe, because this helps you to be who God called you to be. It's a pretty good lesson that I exacted out of my geometry, isn't it? And now I'm going to illustrate for you what's called a supplementary angle. Supplementary angle. And so again, this one's straight out, and now this one may be about like this, and this might be, let's say, 120 degrees. A supplementary angle is two angles that form the total of 120 degrees, 180 degrees, 180 degrees. So it's the straight line. So this helps us see. The first one was a 90-degree angle, the complementary that helps us to be upright. This one is designed for the 120 that gives us the horizontal. God, once you get the vertical, it empowers you now to then reach out toward mankind. See, it's not designed to just stay with you. You got to reach out and be able to help serve someone else. And yet by yourself, you may only be able to do 120 degrees, but then you get someone else to supplement you in the areas of your weakness, who's got a strength in the area of your weakness, and then they help to keep us straight so that we reach out, that we do not contain in us what is designed for others, and we're designed then to take that has come out of the complementary relationship, and then now we take it into the supplemental angle where it's 180 degrees designed for our horizontal relationships, and the two together become the way of the cross. The vertical that comes from the complementary, and then the horizontal, which is the other way of the cross. Jesus, we reach up toward God and reach out toward mankind. Give this couple a wonderful hand. Thank you so much. And so you see, we're designed, so I hate to learn stuff and then not be able to apply it to life. Now that might not be as an architect, but it helps me in my own spiritual understanding of realizing how certain things are complementary and other things are supplementary. And then when you say supplement, say supplement. It sounds like the word supplication in Scripture, which refers to prayer. Supplication. prayer and supplication. Supplication is asking for stuff in prayer. Supplicating this is a passion, an ethos, a pathos that comes in your prayer life as you supplicate, but it helps us in our compassion toward reaching out toward other people. It reaches out. So one is upreach, the other one is outreach. Upreach, outreach, complementary. You need other people to help you to stay upright. And then as they supplement your life, it helps you to be able to reach out, have outreach toward other folks in the world, and it blesses in an incredible, incredible way. And so we're grateful to the God. Now, here's a principle I want you to understand. Never confuse those who are attached to you with those who are assigned to you. Never confuse those who are attached to you with those who are assigned to you. There are people that will just try to attach themselves to you. Those are called leeches. Those are called bloodsuckers. God didn't attach them to you. They're trying to attach themselves to you. He didn't assign them to you. They're trying to attach themselves to you. And there are times that you'll find things trying to attach themselves to your life that God didn't assign to your life. That's why I said you got to find your tribe. You have to find your tribe. So always be careful of that. Never confuse those who are attached to you with those who are assigned to you. And see, here's my definition of the law of attachment. The law of attachment says essentially that you will be affected by whatever or whomever you are attached to. You will be affected by whatever or whomever you are attached to. And here's the thing, your attachments can be lethal to you or legendary for you. They can be lethal to you or legendary for you. If you got the right kind of hookups, the right kind of attachment, it can be legendary for you. They just make the best winning combination all the way around. But one definition of the word attachment is seizure by legal process. Attachment, seizure by legal process. You see, when you get attached to the wrong person, you give them legal access to your stuff. When you get attached to the wrong person, you give them legal access to your stuff. So you can be married and you say, well, my husband did this, but y'all married now. And he's messed up and your name is hooked up with his, and now all of a sudden now your credit is jacked up and you didn't even do it. So, but when you do that, when you get attached to the wrong person, you give them legal access to your stuff. And then they can start taking your stuff because you're legally attached to them. They'll start taking your joy, your confidence, your peace of mind, your reputation, your money, your assets. You ought to say the devil is a lie. It's interesting, but you ought to have some evaluation questions concerning your attachments. Have some evaluation questions. Here's the first one that I would say. To whom are you attached? To whom are you attached? You ought to be very cautious about the people that you're attached to. If you're a parent, you need to be concerned about every person that your children are attached to, or who's trying to attach themselves to your children, and for what purpose. You know, the old folks, they used to say, you know, well, who are that people? They wanted to know something about the tribe. You know, who is that? Whose child is that? I know you're trying to holler at somebody. Whose child is that? What's that mom? What that mama do? What did daddy do? You're trying to find out their tribe to see whether these are part of your bones or not. And so, to whom are you attached? Here's the next question. Have you gotten better through the attachment or worse? You see, this lets you know whether it's something that is lethal or something that has gangrene in it. Have you gotten better through the attachment or worse? And then this one. Are you closer to God or farther away? Are you closer to God or are you further away as a result of the attachment? Are you closer to God or are you further away? And then I want you to notice, because you know our bodies are 3/4 water. We're water. I mean, so when somebody calls you a waterhead, I mean, they are speaking a certain amount of truth. You know, you do realize that. But Swami Vivekananda said this, speaking of water, that if it falls on a hot surface, it perishes. But if it falls on a lotus leaf, that drop of water, it shines like a pearl. And finally, if it falls on an oyster, it becomes a pearl. But the drop is the same, but its existence and its worth depends on with whom it associates. The drop, same drop, but its existence and its worth depends upon with whom it associates. And sometimes we deal with unhealthy attachments. We deal with unhealthy attachments. And an unhealthy attachment, with an unhealthy attachment, it can become an addiction. Can become an addiction. And you can become addicted to a substance. You can become addicted to an experience, which really is a feeling. You can become addicted to a person, or you can become addicted to any combination of these. It's easy to become addicted to a substance, to a person, to an experience, a feeling, or any combination thereof. There's some folks that are just addicted to the person. They're addicted to the sex, the feeling. They're addicted to the euphoria, to the high. And they're trying to get the feeling, the experience again. And most people who have an addiction are actually unaware. There are people that are addicted to social media, addicted to their cell phones, addicted to television, addicted to attention, addicted. And here's some questions to help you to know whether or not you're dealing with an addiction. Do your family and friends say you have a problem? Do your family and friends say you have a problem? Do they say you have a problem? Do you persist in the behavior or relationship even when it hurts others? Do you keep on doing it even when you know that it's hurting people who are attached to you? Do you keep on doing it? Here's number 3. Do you arrange your schedule, priority, or spending around it? Because if you do, you've got an addiction. Here's the next one. Can you go a week without it? Can you go a week without it? Here's the next one. Are you driving others away? Are you driving others away? Addiction normally get people isolated in the end result. They get people isolated. Are you driving others away? And then here's the final question. Are you hiding it or denying it is a problem? Are you hiding it or denying that it is a problem? And so you have to make a decision. It might hurt at the moment and affect a few people, but if you fail to make the decision, your indecision will hurt for a longer time and it'll end up hurting more people. Your indecision. Indecision is more painful and harmful in the long run than making a decision. And this is why we're called actually to be able to make good decisions. We're called to make good decisions. Life is about decisions. It's about decisions. Can I get 5 guys to come up and help me in the service? Just come on. Just 5. Just stand down here. Stand down here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. 5. All right, I got it. All right, good. Excellent. Good. All right, now turn face this way. Yeah, face this way. Face this way. Because what I want you to see now, I want you guys to separate here. I want you guys to separate here. No, just you stay here. Stay here. And you guys shift right in the middle of these guys. All right, good. Because I want to show you what sin does to you. Not these men. Don't take it personal. But let's say that this is sin. Sin starts off and it distracts. It always starts with a distraction. Remember Satan in the serpent in the Garden of Eden? Psst. Let me holler at you. He distracted her first. He distracted her first. Distracted. First step of it is distraction. The next step is attraction. Start attracting her. She was first distracted from what God said and now attracted to what was forbidden. Because you know how a person can be distracted and say, ooh, a lady is like, ooh, I know he ain't looking at me. And I know ladies can tell when men are looking at them. They put an extra oomph in their walk. Oh, y'all know you try to act like you don't know what time it is. I know you know, like, girl, I think he looking at me. I think he looking at me. Distracted because you can feel the eyes on you. Distracted. Now you're attracted. Girl, he cute. You see, the attraction, there has to be an attraction. It's not a distraction if it's ugly. It doesn't even catch your heart, it doesn't catch your attention. But you get distracted and then you get attracted. Distracted, attracted. Eve was in the garden, she got distracted by the enemy. But then she got attracted because she saw that it was pleasant to look at. It was attractive. It was attracted to her. What starts in distraction and then matures into attraction further grows into addiction. Because sin promises to please and to satisfy, but it only serves to enslave and to dominate. And so what started off as a distraction and grew into a wrong attraction, now it has grown now into this full fruit of addiction. Gotta have it. Gotta have the experience. Gotta have the substance. Carol, it's just the way he make me feel. I know it ain't right, Carol, but he just do something to me. You're in full-blown addiction. But every addiction brings you to a fork in the road. Because addiction is broken by the power of a decision. All change begins with a decision. Addiction is broken by a decision. And here are the two decisions: destruction or deliverance. There are only two ways that you can go. And if I go to the left, I'm going to wind up destroyed. The whole end purpose of all sin is distraction that leads you to attraction, which has deception in it because it looks good. Deception, which leads to dislocation into the addicted behavior that finally winds up in destruction. Unless when we're at that fork in the road, we're at the point and the place of this addiction, instead of going toward destruction, we choose deliverance. The name Jesus is Yeshua. Jehovah is salvation or is deliverance. It's deliverance. You have a choice that either I accept the deliverer in my life or my life goes into destruction. Every addicted person who's addicted to sin, addicted to how it feels, addicted to how it makes them feel, addicted to the high, to the euphoria, addicted to how your hormones rage. When you become addicted, you're at a place of decision that I need to desperately cry out now for Yeshua. Jehovah is salvation, my deliverer, or else I will go to destruction. I will persist secretly, clandestinely, surreptitiously in my private addiction that everybody else around me thinks that life is hunky-dory, going beautifully well. They don't even realize that I am wrestling with a snake on the inside of me, wrapping itself around my mind, waking me up in the middle of the night, making me do freaky things and ungodly things and things that are against my own character. And it leads you down a road of destruction or a road of deliverance. You're at every place of addiction, a wrong feeling. And this comes as a result of wrong attachments because you gave something too much time. Listen, if the wrong person wastes 10 minutes of your time, 8 of those minutes is your fault. And so when you're at that place of decision, there's a decision with every addiction. Well, I choose not to make a decision, which is to decide and takes you to destruction, or will I choose to let Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, the great deliverer, to come in and handle in me what I don't even have the strength and the power to break in my own life. And I let the blood in the finished work of Calvary, I take it to the cross and find that as my place of deliverance. Thank you. Give these men a hand. And this is the thing here. You're called to remain attached to Jesus Christ. Remain attached to Jesus Christ. Jesus said to us in St. John 15, verse 4, abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine. No more can you except you abide in me. Abide in me. He said, stay attached to me. When you stay attached to him, you begin to produce the life of God. You've got to stay attached. You got to stay hooked up, connected to Jesus. You bear fruit that has life in it. It's organic and it's life-filled and it renews your energy and it causes the body to heal itself. Stay attached to him. Stay attached to him. You grow stronger in the attachment. And it's not the fruit that we bear of ourselves. The fruit is actually coming from him that we bear through us because we are connected. Jesus said, I'm the trunk of the tree, you are the vine, you're the branches. The fruit grows on the branches, but it grows out through us, and as long as you stay connected, you start withering. When you stay attached to something that looks like it's turned on, but it's not. And he says, it's time to really be connected. And I want you to be at a place today that if you realize that I've been struggling with some things that I can't handle in my own flesh, and I need his help. These are the struggles that we have in the secret place. The private places of your life. Nobody else may even know about the pornography that you deal with. Nobody may know about it, the habitual masturbation. They may not even know about your inordinates with alcohol or some illegal drug substance or sometimes prescription drugs that you've gotten addicted to. They don't even know about the relationship with this man or this woman that you just can't get out of your system. And you know that it's not right and you keep going back to it over and over and over again. You got to take it to the cross. The cross is a place of exchange. It is a place of victory. It is that place where you'll get that complementary relationship that helps us to go upright, and then the horizontal that helps us to do the outreach. There's always outreach before there's outreach, but it becomes the way of the cross. It's the way of the cross. It's the way of the cross. And he's calling for us. He's calling for us to come to him.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Join us again next time for Power for Living, where revelation is power. Power for living.